Smart to think about that now. Great. Well, I think we have everyone here today. Aaron will be joining us, so I can lead us through some of the preliminaries. So yeah, welcome to our midpoint check-in call for PurpleStride Portland. We didn't have our kickoff back in October, which is totally fine. That just means that this serves as our check-in and our kickoff. The agenda up on the screen is a little bit of the roadmap for the conversation, but it's meant to be a very collaborative call. We want you to chime in with any questions or suggestions. I know Phil and Addie, you guys aren't new to this, but yeah, if there's any changes that we need to make, we absolutely can do that on the call. Speaking of being new to this, in terms of introductions, you might have seen me on your pre-event call last April, I want to say, last March, but I can introduce myself to you, Phil. I'm the market communications coordinator with Event 360. So I'm working right alongside Aaron now in all the volunteer communications. So when you email us, that goes to Aaron and I, and then we send that over to Jason and get it back to you. This is my first full PurpleStride season, start to finish. So I'm super excited. And I'm based out of Chicago right now. It's chilly. And Addie, are you new to this market, or have you been with Portland for a while?
I am new. I know Phil now, I feel like pretty well. Not enough. He's going to get a lot more of me, but yeah, we've had some wonderful conversations. But no, I'm going to be learning all about this event brand new. So, Phil, don't leave any stone unturned if there are things that, Kath helped with in the past, or, previous folks, let me know so I don't miss anything.
Okay.
And I know, Phil, how many years have you been with PurpleStride in Portland here?
Well, I've been part of the affiliate since 2014. My wife passed in 2012, and then I ran across PanCan in 2014. In 2019, I was working, so I was just a general volunteer. In 2019, I kind of understudied under the PurpleStride chair at the time, and then did a lot of work on that event. And then in 2020, we went COVID, and so I had to scramble because I'm not real that good with technology, but Helen and I pulled together, and then so I've been PurpleStride chair basically since 2020.
Gotcha.
Amazing.
So, know what you're doing. We got some pros here.
Yeah, so
Jason's
lucky.
pro here too, so you guys are good to go. Awesome.
But one of the things that's made my job a heck of a lot easier is you guys. So
I love to hear
that's the goal.
It's really
it's
awesome.
And Jason, you've worked on this event for consistently?
So this is my second full season with PurpleStride. Pretty much the same markets. I added a couple in Florida this year, but I came from our breast cancer group, which I was with for the last 10 years.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, we're so glad to have you. I know I've worked with you last year when I had to jump into the San Diego and all the Yep. So it was nice to work with you. I'm so glad I get to have you again.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, Addie, he took some of your Florida markets, so and he's taking good care of them.
Good luck.
Of course, I know.
It's been fun, an adventure.
Awesome. Well, we can kind of jump right into it. This is just some housekeeping first. We always like to plug the shared resource site, and I know Phil, you're familiar with it. PanCan does a really great job with just keeping the trainings updated and providing refreshers if they need them. In particular, I've called out a couple of resources having to do with the event route. Did you have a course lead last year? Do you have the same person usually, or? Yeah.
We did. Actually, it turned out to be one of your people, which I want to put a bug in your ear. So Penny Kellum and Nate Zach were the two people that they've helped us out from you guys for the last 2 seasons. I don't want to get them in a rut or anything, but if they're willing to, I think Penny lives up in Washington. She's in the Seattle area, and so she's close enough. But if she is available and is willing to help us out. So yeah, she's actually been instrumental the last 2 years in refining our course. There was a couple of spots in going around the track at the PIR that were kind of questionable and potentially liability problems. So we cut those off and stuff. So our course trout is, I think, refined to the point of where we want. So whatever the course route was last year is worked out really well. There's places for turnarounds for people that can't make it all the way and things like that. And so yeah, she and Zach kind of really helped us out in terms of putting out the signage and cones and unlocking the gates that morning and stuff. So that's where we've been going the last couple of years, and it's worked out really well.
Great, awesome. Love to hear it. Yeah, and if you do end up getting like a volunteer course lead that wants to help out, or even, you know, sometimes people have just like a couple people who kind of work in tandem, or anyone new, these are just some really good resources for them. There's a video here giving you the rundown of how to do it. And then there's also like a document of all the best practices. So if you do have someone that you can share this with, it's great. These are in the shared resource site, but I'll also be sharing this deck in our follow-up email so you can kind of click right to them.
Yeah, 3 and 4 years ago, we had most of our volunteers are high school kids, and we had a girl that she joined us. I think she was a freshman or maybe a sophomore, but so we put her in charge of the route, and it worked out fantastic. And so what we're going to do is try to identify, maybe this year, I'll talk to Lydia and see if we can identify one of our volunteers that's really outstanding that might be interested in, you know, stepping into that role too. And that way, if we get somebody that, you know, if you guys, you know, Penny can't make it or whatever, then we'll have somebody that can do that. And so we can have them work with her to, you know, figure out what to do. And, you know, like I said, it's kind of like college football. You know, if you get a really good player that's a senior, then boom, they're gone. So we'll try to find some freshmen and sophomores that we can maybe keep around for a couple of years.
Well, we can do, yeah, we can do everything we can to get those staff members back. We like to keep them in the same spot. It's easy, and they always have fun too. I mean, so yeah. Other than that, just checking in on some deliverables. This should again look pretty familiar, similar to last year. So we're kind of just getting into the middle of it now. So the first round of documents has been uploaded to the shared resource site. So the route map is on Google My Maps, the site map and the vendor tracker are in that document library. If you haven't looked at them yet, no problem. That's what this call is for. We're going to go over them in some good detail.
Good.
So
yeah, I went not this morning. I didn't see the route map there.
Okay. Yeah, I can show you exactly where it is.
That's fine. Yeah. I don't want to mess up the agenda, so just go ahead and go in what order you want to go, and we'll just get to it when we get to it. And if we don't get something that I have to turn on,
and when we get to it, Hannah, I know, and on the other calls we didn't do this, but if you could kind of share your screen, or if you want me to share my screen or something, and show the exact path so that he can access it whenever. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, it's like down further than everything else, so it's kind of like an exception. It's a little bit strange. So I'll show you like exactly where to find that. So yeah, we're right in this reviewing the documents phase, and then you'll have till the end of this month to get us any initial feedback based on this call or based on anything else you think of after the call. Anything that we get from you by the 30th, we're going to incorporate those changes into the second round of documents that drops on February 9th. After that, you'll have a lot of time to look over them and get us any more additional edits or change requests or questions, anything you can think of. You'll have until March 16th to get us any other changes. So basically all of February and half of March, you'll be able to connect with us via email and make whatever changes we need to make. After that, we're going to incorporate all of that into the third round of documents, which will drop on the 23rd of January. My gosh, March. And after that sounds a bit soon, huh? After that, we'll kind of jump right into our pre-event calls where we'll go over these documents, just make sure everything looks good, dot our I's, cross our T's, make any last questions. and make sure it looks good for our event book that's going to drop on the 17th of April. I'll have all of this for you as well in the deck in a follow-up email, so you don't have to commit it to memory, but you might have already at this point. It's also in the volunteer calendar if you ever need to check on it. Do you have any questions on just these big picture?
No.
All good? Right. Cool. All right. Another thing to check on is some of these infrastructure changes that PanCan's been implementing for 2026. I know we didn't have our check-in call, so we didn't go over this in super detail in October. But have you heard about some of these yet? Yeah. I know they've come down.
Yeah, they were covered. They were covered at one of the PanCam training meetings.
Oh, great.
A couple months ago. So yeah, that's cool. I mean, for us, there's not that many changes because we're fall into the expanded package when we had 800 walkers last year. So I think that, the changes are going to be fairly minimal for us, but that's fine.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You got my spiel covered. Thank you. You guys don't have much changing. The only thing, it's going to be like the t-shirt tent down here highlighted. And then the only other thing to note is this start finish. I wanted to ask, do you have a premier sponsor, or do you usually have a premier sponsor lined up?
No, we don't.
No, we won't. Yeah, I don't know that we'll have one this year. So
okay.
Yeah.
No worries. So in that case, this is the only like larger change that you guys could see. If you don't have that premier sponsor, we are looking to pivot to a different start finish, something like balloon arch, balloon columns. People have also been talking about feather flags. We're going to have those part of the signage portal this year in case you want like the tall start finish feather flags. There's also like branded inflatable arches that have PanCam branding on them. Basically, sky's the limit here. You can kind of get creative and talk with Addie on what works best for you guys. Obviously, just within budget and within something that you think looks good for the site.
So it looks like Phil will have about $750 of a budget for that if we wanted to do the balloon arch or the columns, or we'll see how much the feather flags end up being in the signage portal. Have you done that before for start and finish, or have you always had the truss?
Of 21, 22, and 23, I think we had to scramble around and find a vendor for balloon arch. And then we had truss after that. Did she say that there's an inflatable PanCan branded thing that we could like inflate?
Yeah, I keep hearing of that, but
okay.
Sorry to
check into that. If it's under 750, I'll go for that.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Then we'll so go ahead.
Yeah, I want to look into that.
In terms of that, this is basically just another. So you have the balloon arch. It's going to be, arch of balloons. Pretty understandable. An inflatable arch it's like, think of one, not one giant balloon, but it's going to be inflated with a small blower with power. And you can put, basically when you order something like that, you would be buying that from someone and they will put something on there for you. You give them like your logo or something.
Okay.
So you can make it
I'll
like
start
purple.
asking. Yeah, Phil, I'll ask in my group chat too if anyone else is doing that, since it's been mentioned a couple of times, and what vendor they're using and stuff. So I'll ask.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I mean, I think we could probably find one of those and get one of those made, because I help out with ALS too, and they have something like that for their start finish. It works out great, and it's got and whether I mean, it's a situation where if it's I've got a portable inflatable inflator for tires and stuff that we can inflate it with, so we don't need to invest in necessarily a pump if we can connect to it. But it'd be great. And then that way, especially since I'm assuming that these changes are going to be ongoing, we could just use it year after year as our start finish.
So
that would be.
That's what I was also going to mention is your balloon arches are probably going to be balloon arches, or start finish flags will be the most budget friendly. When it comes to an inflatable, it's going to be pricier than a balloon arch, but the difference is that it's reusable. So if you traditionally do not have a premier sponsor here and you're not really expecting one maybe for the next few years, this could be a good thing to look into, to have like an evergreen resource that will eventually save money over time. But again, these are all options. You can get as creative as you want within, the bounds of the site and the bounds of your budget. We do just ask that, you know, when you know what your plan is going to be, just let us know. It's important for us to know what you're bringing so that we can circle back with you if there's any additional permitting.
Well, yeah, I wanted to ask
special
about
steps.
if we did the blow up arch, I'm guessing they don't, well, I just want to know about power, I guess. So, is that something that would be included in your budget if we needed a small generator to blow that up, or how would that work? I know you have a blower, Phil, but I don't know if it would be enough.
Right. So with a blower, you would most likely need, like a small generator, and that's going to come from you guys as well. So that's where the inflatable is a bit more cost. So anything to do with that start finish, that's all going to be within your guys' budget.
All right.
Yeah. And if that turns out to be the case, Hattie, what I can do is I can ask about our affiliates. We have a lot of people that camp and stuff, and our volunteers. Somebody might have one in the garage that they use for other stuff that they could bring with them. We wouldn't necessarily need to purchase it.
Okay, wonderful. I'll start just to see if anybody already has an idea of a vendor, and then Phil, we can go from there. If we're the guinea pig, then maybe we'll do it. And if we need more budget, we can, ask. So I will start that conversation and loop you in. You don't have an event. Do you have an event experience chair working on some things, or it's just you?
Just me.
Just you. Okay, awesome. Easy. Okay.
And Helen jumps in, and Kaylee jumps in to do it.
Yeah.
It's a team. It's a tag team thing.
Great.
Awesome. And sounds like you guys are kind of thinking of everything. It's just good to keep in mind any peripheral things, what you tend to go with. If you go with the balloon arch, it's always good to think about what weights you're going to have. If you go with feather flags, weighted bases, same with the arch, weights to keep that down. Whoever you're working with in terms of a vendor, they're usually fully versed in this and can give you either suggestions or just add that to whatever you're buying. But it's just good to keep in mind. So other than that, nothing else is really changing for you guys. Basically just that t-shirt tent. Okay. Last thing to mention, we just want to bring up our weather contingency. We have plans in place to deal with any sort of weather, whether that's probably rain for you guys or cold. I don't know about heat waves, but you never know these days. But we do, have lots of elements in place if it looks like it's going to be uncooperative ahead of time. We're going to look at it about 10 days to a week before the event to see if anything's going to be hitting you guys. That's when we'll sort of initiate ordering these extra pieces like sidewalls, tent for the kiddos in the purple play zone and that sort of thing. Have you guys had torrential downpours in the past, or have you managed to avoid that recently?
One year we did, but most years it's been great. A couple of years it was like beautiful spring weather, and one year it poured the Friday night before the event, and we had lakes in the event venue, but we dealt with it. But no, normally if it's not. Yeah, if it rains, people in Portland are used to rain. So if it just rains like normal rain, people just put their hoods up on their outerwear and go for it. But no, it hasn't been. There's only been one year that it was really ugly.
Okay.
So
you guys are tough.
We're already underway praying for good weather. So
yeah, knock on wood. Well, it will be great weather. Jason's got that covered for you, so don't worry about it.
Thank you, Jason. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Gotcha. Yeah. Great. Other than that, I can pass the screen share over to Jason, and he'll just take us through the site map and the route, and then I'll talk about the vendor order after that. One last thing to mention. I wanted to ask you, Phil, specifically about our signage inventory. So, we cover that after the event, and let's see. Yeah, so we did that last year.
I kind of looked at that this morning too, a little bit, as far as what it says we had. So on our signage inventory, it looks like there's a discrepancy in the stage banner. Do you remember if there were any problems with your stage banner last year, or if you got rid of it for any reason? We're going to reach out to our staff members as well, but we just wanted to check. I know you were on the ground as well.
It was
Not
good.
that I know of. No.
Yeah.
You mean the big banner that goes on the backside of the stage? No, as far as I know, it's
Okay, and
fine. I mean,
you guys
what
just keep that every year?
yeah, yeah, because they sent us one. It's it's city branded, but not year. There's no year, so we can use it year after year.
Gotcha.
And what I can do, Addie, if you want, yeah, I can do that. I could just to be 100% sure. I mean, I'm 99% sure, but I can go out to our storage unit one afternoon and just double check to
Yeah.
make sure
Yeah,
that, and then I'll just let
that'd be
you know if
great.
there's any issues.
And I know that you're busy with your trip, so
Yeah,
even if
but
there's
that's
another
Right.
volunteer that can do that, or if you want to just do it when you come back just to triple check. Yeah.
okay. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
great. And
true. I could do it then, because that'd still be time to, but no, like I said, I'm 99%
Pretty sure.
sure that we've had it like 2 years now, I think, and we just folded it up and labeled it,
Okay.
and it's in the storage unit.
It's one of those things that if someone just misses marking it off, we believe them
yeah,
that it's a 0, but if it was
Right.
something else, a small sign, we'd be like, not worth checking. We'll just order another one. But this one is like, oh,
But
we
that's
kind of
what's, yeah,
need to know.
pretty
But if we're
major.
pretty sure, then
right.
like you said, if you could just check, at least we'd have 3 weeks,
I'll
to
double
get it
check
done.
either before or after. I'll double check and make sure. Yeah,
Thank you so
I should have
much.
some time between now and then.
And you're so busy, so if not, totally fine
No,
too. Just let
yeah,
us know.
yeah. No, it's
Thank you. Great.
All right,
um
kiddos. On we go.
Hey.
Excuse me. Onto the maps. So sitemap, very similar to what we've had in the past, minus the t-shirt tents that are no longer there, and then any alterations that you guys had requested between the end of the event last year and this year. So this should reflect what y'all want, what y'all got. So unless there's anything that you're like, you know what, I really would like this, there, that, there. We kind of move some things around to separate survivors and pro teams a little bit. So, a large grouping of people over here, a large grouping of people over here. What do you got? Hit me.
Okay. No, the only input I had was looking it over. One is assuming that we can't scare up an S3, we can use that for something else, right?
Yeah, so as we get
Yeah,
closer, once you give me a total, kind of who the sponsors are and who your all-star teams are. If you have one that's offset, we can always throw that back and say, hey, we're going to use that as a shade tent or a shelter tent, because obviously this entire footprint has 0 cover. So, even if you get a good sunny day, you have somebody, a little bit endangered, it's not a bad idea to have a 10 by 10 that we can put a couple chairs under.
Well,
If we
we
already
may
have
end
it
up,
on the order.
we've got certain teams and, they haven't kicked into gear yet, but certain teams that do some pretty major fundraising. So there's a possibility that we might have 4 teams that qualify for tents. So we could
Listen,
just turn that.
it doesn't matter. If
Yeah,
they make their mark,
yeah.
then we add
That's,
tents. So, and we
yeah,
can
we
go
just
all
do
the way
that.
Yeah.
up to the week before. So you
So,
tell me
All
you
of
have
okay.
6 all-star teams, I'll love you forever, and I'll put 6 tents on this map. Not a problem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
If
no,
we fall
actually,
short, we can
I
adapt.
can't, I feel like, this has always been a discrepancy with myself in Event 360. So I feel like Jason's on my side. But, I used to be able to, like you said, order a last minute tent for teams a week in advance. But it seemed like in the past years, Event 360 has been really strict about that deadline. Understandably, managing all the events. So Hannah, what is the deadline that we could offer, um, a team, between Jason, Phil, and myself? Like, it's out of our control, but who is in control? What is the final date if we see them fundraising? I don't want to get Jason in trouble if he adds it on the map and we're not allowed to add it in our.
Well, yeah, no, that's a good question. I'll double check just to make sure this is accurate. I know that we do really try to stick to basically the PanCan deadline of like sponsors and all-stars, which is in March, the same as it has been. Pretty sure that is
I think it's April.
16th.
Let me go to our website. I'll double check that
And
one. I think for the teams, it's usually 3 weeks before.
Sorry, that's right. The
Yeah.
6th, April 6th, I think it is this year.
that sounds about right. And Addie, just for your frame of reference to
Yeah.
make your brain work happy, So to make this work the way we see it, you and I,
Mhm.
as you get through, like we start getting like that March 16th deadline, when you guys
Mhm.
communicate a bunch of stuff to us, that would be a great place to tell us, hey, listen, I know we have 3 teams confirmed. I have 2 that are on the bubble.
Yeah.
What we can do
Let's add them
is
on the map.
add them on the map then. It
Mhm.
is infinitely easier to cancel a tent a week prior than it is to have them
Totally.
load it then.
Oh, good call. Okay.
So the cancel is always the way to go, and that's what we strive to do with all of our markets.
Yes. Good point. Good
So
point.
make
Glad you
me
mentioned
make
that.
me map heavy
Yeah.
with the plan, and this way
Easily.
we can say, all right, you know what, hey, 2 sponsors backed out, but we had a team. It all works out in the end. I promise. Nobody gets in
Yeah.
trouble, and
Yeah.
we can make your lives easier because at the end of
That
the
makes
day,
sense.
all I care about beyond the permitting and you guys put together a beautiful event is get your teams. All right. I would
Yeah.
love a dozen freaking all-star teams on this map.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
would.
Let's do it.
So
Okay. That is so helpful.
good.
I
Yeah.
was not thinking that way and I'm back in the mode. So
Good.
that is wonderful. I'll do that for all my events.
Yeah.
And that way
And
Yeah.
we feel really good.
Yeah,
and
my experience when I was dealing with the vendor, because they're using the same vendor that we used, but before E360 came on the scene, um, she's so I was working with Becky, and they have multiple events. There's not just ours that they do that day. The earlier that we can commit to her, the better. So if we know
Yeah.
that if we know that April 1st that we're definitely going to look like we're going to have 4 or 5 teams, let Jason know and he can let her know, and then she can put the tents aside.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Perfect.
like you said, it's a lot easier that if she's got them reserved for us, and then we just say, hey, you know what, you can cancel one of those reservations,
Yeah.
and
Perfect.
yeah,
Okay.
and
I love it.
yeah, and yeah, in general, that April 6th deadline like still stands as just the like we want to try and get everything we possibly can get in. Um, but the exception is like there's, something comes up, like an all-star team comes up, and after that deadline, we basically just work as hard as we can to get you guys that or to scrounge up that extra tent. And
Right.
Jason and they're all so good at that.
And
Um,
I'm going to give you a hack,
Okay.
Phil.
I love your hacks.
Phil, you ready for this?
yeah.
If you get to the point where we are the week before the event and you have a last minute sponsor or you have a last minute team that was not on anybody's radar, you can always pivot like our core structure and take your volunteer table, put it with your reg table, and put both signs on that tent. Now you have a free tent. It may not have signage,
Mhm.
but Addie could
Yeah.
always throw something together with
Yeah.
some chloroplast last minute or
Yeah. That's such a good
Yeah,
whatever.
idea.
we could print
But
something that would let people know. Yeah.
yeah, that was something that
Yeah.
they kind
That's
of
a
put
great hack.
together, just to be like, okay, well, our smaller events are doing it this way. Well, if the big events get in trouble and they're like, I really need to make sure that, you know, Pfizer decided they're coming, I need something there.
Yeah.
Move that,
That's
move
wonderful.
that over. You put 3 tents under there. I mean, we're not accepting a lot of donations on site. Registration's all done ahead of time. It's more
Yeah.
of a information center, and if it's surrounded by a bunch of volunteers, oh hey, yeah, that's
Fabulous.
great. So
Yeah.
there's a little
That makes
hack for
sense.
you, just to make life a little bit easier.
I love
But you
that.
guys got
That's
this.
great.
Right. Now,
Awesome.
before
All
we
right.
move off this map, the
Yeah.
map is fine. The only other input I would have is basically terminology, and this might be above our pay grade because I don't know if it's PanCan has to
Sure.
approve. But since you were mentioning, Jason, that basically all the registration is prior to
Yeah.
terminology. What I was wondering about the terminology on the registration donation tent is maybe changing it to information and donations,
Oh,
possibly.
I think we're getting there.
Okay.
But I just don't think that that's made it into the world, of
Okay.
thought yet. So that might
So
be a
let's
conversation Addie
Phil,
has
yeah,
with
flag
Renee and
that for
above.
Maybe next year.
flag that when we order signs and banners. Like let's not forget about that. If for some reason they're asking us to just save money on banners and use our old banners, then at
Yeah.
least you and I could order coroplast signs that say information, information, you know, so let's
Yeah,
just,
I'm not.
yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't really worried about the banner. So is this map accessible to anybody outside of PanCan? Is accessible to the actual walkers?
No,
Does it?
No.
It doesn't show up
So-
on our website or anything?
No.
nope.
Oh, okay, all right. Because the other terminology I was going to suggest is up in the upper right-hand corner that we can't see. It says registration opens, and I would change that terminology to Event Village opens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Very true.
I will mark down these suggestions, Phil, to bring them to Renee too.
Okay. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, it might be, as far as the, the Event Village thing, it might be something universal that they might want to just make as part of.
Well, that's what it
Everybody
says on your
affiliates now.
website, Phil. On the website, it actually says,
Registration opens.
no,
Event
Oh.
Village.
Event Village.
I think it
festival
says site opens.
site
Yeah.
Event
open,
Village.
something like that.
Event Village.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I'll
just,
double check.
Okay.
yeah.
That's participant facing. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that part's
I mean,
already
But-
done for you.
Because what we've been
Because-
pushing for our walkers to do is register early, right? So we
Right.
don't want
Mhm.
to think, oh,
Mhm.
hey, I'll just register the day of the event because there's going to be a registration
Yeah.
tent. Although
And
obviously, if
it is
they walk-
exactly what you said, Event Village opens. So we need to, let's make that consistent with these documents. So I'm going to just flag that for Renee to work on with Event 360. Glad you noticed that, Phil. Good attention to detail. And I really like information and donations. So I'm just going to pitch that now before we go too much further to her too.
Perfect.
Great. I love it.
Yeah,
No one
other
else
than that,
mentioned it. So
looks great,
just takes
yeah.
one to change it for everybody.
Yeah, other than that, everything looks really looks good.
Gorgeous, Jason. Love it. Okay. Easy.
Ta-da. Yeah, and let me know when you
Perfect.
guys come back with that. If we decide to do anything there,
Yeah, I
we
will.
can pivot. All right, over to the route. Okay, so this is the existing structure of the route. This is what PIR gives us. I do know from talking with Zach, and trust me, if there is any way that I have any kind of leverage on that, that man is getting sent right back to you. They loved
Right.
being there. They loved you guys. You guys loved them.
Aw.
I think it's
Yeah.
just a perfect pairing.
Good.
Event Village over here. Hey, there you are.
Yeah.
A simple strut out. You guys are unofficially, I'm gonna probably make the map complete it. This mile-long loop is what I understand your turnaround to be for those that don't want to go all the way out to do the 2 3/4
Correct.
mile. So
Yeah, there's a
I'll get
gate
another
right
line
where-
on there for you
Okay.
for a short route, but this is your normal course. Where are we here?
Okay. So yeah, for these benefits, so the Event Village is where that little pin is.
Yep, that's your Event Village.
Okay. And then we just walk and start on the route there, and then
Yep.
it loops around, and then there's a gate. So where that little, I'm pointing at my screen, and you obviously can't see me, but where that spike is, and the two paths almost touch.
Right here.
Maybe down a little.
No, to your right. Move right. Move right.
Oh.
More. Up. Right there. There's a gate right there that when they're coming back, they go through that gate. But if they're going out and they say, I can't handle this whole thing, then they can go through that gate and they can, like you said, cut the loop short. And I think that's about a mile,
gate
maybe
here.
a little
Yeah.
bit less. Right.
Yeah,
right in
it's
there.
exactly 1 mile.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if they come
Yes.
up and just keep looping through, grab the path. And I'll add a short route that will go participant facing as well. So they can see that as we start moving forward. Just so we give them a little bit more of an option so they feel comfortable with it. Maybe there's somebody that wants to sign up. It's like, I'm not doing a 5K. So here's your mile. In a couple of our other cities, we call it the stroller brigade. We have a lot of young families with strollers, and we try to make it as easy for them as possible as well. Especially the dads with strollers, because they underestimate their abilities and realize that pushing another human is a little bit more than they thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Well,
good.
our whole complete loop for us is about 3K. And most of the walkers
Yeah.
that we have aren't out there for exercise. They're out there just to celebrate with their other
Social.
friends and stuff.
Yeah,
So
or the
it's one
social.
of
I
those
love it.
deals where it seems like it's been just about the right length that everybody goes, nobody's huffing and puffing, but at the same
Yeah.
time, there's nobody going, it's done already, kind of a thing. So
Right.
it works out pretty well.
Yeah, 2.3 miles total. You know, and when I first started my first year in Pittsburgh, our route was a half a mile long. But I'm going to tell you right now, 90% of the people were not even there to walk. They were there to celebrate people and fundraise and party. And the ones that we did go out had an absolutely gorgeous walk down the riverbed. Like, you know, it was gorgeous. But they were done after, you know, half a mile back, half a mile up.
Yeah.
Like, okay, hey, whatever works for you. They were a happy bunch of people.
Yeah. Yeah. We give them as many options as they need and, you know, and satisfy everybody.
You guys have been doing this for a long time. There's really nothing that's going to change with this other than the addition at the gate there. PIR is kind of particular, short of absolutely shortening it. Yeah, I think we're good to go. Just one thing to mention back to the sitemap for you. We already have, as part of the program, the contingency tents that are going to see on orders. They'll get canceled last minute. Purple play zone with a tent, a 10-foot tall 10 by 20 on the stage, and sidewalls, which will probably remain on the truck until day of the event for survivors. So you always have that available to you.
Okay, perfect.
So just in case, Addie, when you see the orders or, you know, you start looking at the IFR that Hannah's going to go through shortly, that's going to look wonderful. Yeah, all that stuff's already been planned for you guys. I mean, this is a lock. I mean, you guys had this. I don't even know why I'm here. Just my good looks, probably. I mean, Phil, if you ever decide you're no longer going to do this, we're not going to let you. You're going to need permission from at least the Pope, maybe a couple deities, whoever you want to pray to.
Yeah, I'm planning on sticking around for a few years, Lord willing, as long as my health holds out. But yeah, we'll see if I can
Buddy, I'll take every day.
Lydia into stepping into my role when the time's right.
That's awesome.
He's gonna be the guest PurpleStride chair that Addie's gonna use. Be like, oh hey, I need you to come down to San Francisco and help train this new person.
Just bounce around the country.
Just gonna bounce around.
That's the plan.
All right, back to you kids.
Tour. Great. Before we get into the vendor tracker or the infrastructure request form, I wanted to show you, we were speaking about the route. I can just show you where to find the My Maps. So here's your shared resource site. Here's your calendar. Here's, you know, the document library where you find the rest of the documents we give you. And then you do go all the way down to the Google Maps quick links. And then you click here and you can look at everyone's routes if you want, but you're just going to scroll into yours. That's where it'll be updated.
Okay.
Until the third round when we'll have PDFs, but this is where it's going to live for most of it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Can you guys see the vendor tracker yet, or will I have to do the? Is it still on the? Yeah. Awesome. Yay. All right. I know it's tiny font. Bear with me. So I wanted to go over this because Phil, if you've had any time looking at the old vendor tracker, you'll notice that it looks pretty different this year. We did like a total revamp where we're tracking our vendors. If you remember, we used to have it divided more by like the tent on one page, the tent vendor, the AV vendor on one page, porta potties, that sort of thing. Now we have it more divided by area of the event village, which we feel like is more of an intuitive way for the people on the ground to be looking at things. So I'll take you through the format real quick. I'd recommend you go back and look at it when you have some more time, but we just wanted to show you because it looks pretty different. So this is your first page. The first thing to mention is that you do not need to do anything with this first page. The instructions box, you don't need to follow that. And anything here is still very TBD and you don't have to worry. So if you're like, oh my God, what is this?
Since I'm a detail guy, just change the site name to Portland International Raceway.
Yes, we can. International. Yep, there it is. Well, these link all back to our, extremely long documents, but I'm noting that.
It's not the end of the world.
We're putting that ale. No, we'll get it. We'll get it. Other than that, basically where you're going to start looking is vendor summary and down. So the first section, which would technically be your page 2 on your PDF, is where you'll see all your vendors, their names, their contact information, day of, in case you need to reach them. Everyone we're going to have. You'll notice that there's a lot on here, and a lot of it we're not going to need. So if you see down here things like fans or plywood, frankly, no PurpleStride event needs that. Since we have a brand new big document that we're basically using this for all of our events, we didn't want to delete anything that you guys might need. So we kept everything on here for the first round. But it will be these will be deleted in future rounds, if not February, then in March. So this is only going to get shorter and make more sense. And then once you get down to this orders and distribution line, which might be your page 3, this onward is kind of area by area. So the first 3 are like your general site supplies, your general route supplies if you have any, and your general site services. This is exactly what it sounds like. General stuff that doesn't really go in any like specific area, you know, like your radios aren't going to end up in one specific tent. Your traffic cones or your trash bags are going to be all over the event village. So that's what this is. Again, there are lots of zeros. This will be changed. These will be taken out and updated in the future. Going forward, once you hit the why do you stride section, this and onward is basically tent by tent or area by area if it doesn't have a tent. So the idea here is that someone can take this in their event book and go to each tent and know exactly what we need. So it has everything down to the quick covers that you can expect in there. You know, obviously when it comes to the day of the event, you can always move tables around, but it's good to know what we've ordered and what should be in there. This goes all the way down through every area that we have. Again, here we go. Stage, weather, contingent. Here's your contingency of what you would get if it was going to pour the day of, you'd get that tent over it. Another thing to mention, here we have some all-star teams and some sponsors. Again, these are placeholders from last year. So once you know a bit further into the season, what sponsors you're going to have and what all-star teams you'll have, these will be filled out with their names and exactly how many there are. Last thing to mention is down here in the vendor report, what is currently blank will in the future look kind of more like the traditional IRF. So this will be where you'll have a summary of like everything that the tent vendor is bringing, exactly how many tents, tables, chairs, same porta potties, exactly how many ADAs. This is so that whoever has this, whether it's volunteer, whether it's one of our staff members, they can just hold this up to like the tent invoice and just make sure they match so that we know that everything that we ordered is at the site. It's, you know, it's long right now. Hopefully it makes a little bit more sense. Do you have any questions on the formatting of this or any details yet? All good?
I might be jumping ahead, but and I don't know if you guys do this, but in past years we've had maps of each tent. I mean, visual maps with tables, layouts and stuff. Is that going to
that'll
be
still come in the event book as you've had in the past. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
That really helps for the vendors because the vendors have helped us set up the tables the way they're supposed to be set up and stuff. I mean, I don't know if that's part of their responsibility, but our vendors have said, yeah, give me the map and I'll set it up the way it's
nice.
supposed to be. Yeah.
And
Awesome.
remember ahead of time, the new standard is Nate will probably have an extra pack of those just for the purpose of taping them to the tent pole, like on the front, so they know like tables and chairs where they're supposed to go. Oh, it makes life so much easier.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
I might have done an event or two myself.
Just a few, sounds like.
Good idea. Awesome. Again, this will, you know, it'll look different in the future. Just an intro. Hopefully it makes more sense than the past. I know the other one was a beast. We tried that, you know, as much as we can, we parsed it down.
Yeah, I love it.
Great. Other than that, I did have one more thing to mention. and that is our timeline. I wanted to confirm same timeline as last year. We're looking at 9 a.m. Event Village open, opening ceremony at 10, walk start at 11, and event concludes at 1. So that's still.
Yeah, I checked with Helen this morning to confirm that with her, and she said that works best. So yes, that's what we'll keep. We'll stay with that.
Thanks.
So you guys usually do a 1 hour opening ceremony?
About an hour, yeah. It's actually last year it went quicker, and then so the MC said, "Okay, let's go to the start," but it was like 10:35 or something.
Yeah.
So what we did was we made it. It worked out pretty good because we said, "Okay, we're gonna start at 11, so you guys can just,
keep
communicate and mingle, and so people got the chance to talk to friends and stuff that they hadn't had time to do. So I mean, it's kind of a balance between rushing them to the start line and hey, I want to sit here and talk to this person that I haven't seen since last year. But so
I
yeah,
think I just want to mention, I don't know if you guys want to confirm this, but most of the events that I've experienced are just that half an hour, and it does sound like that was last year. So I don't know. For the public, if they see 10:30 and they need to, I just don't want them to think that it's 11 and then we do actually have to, it's too awkward. We got to start them walking at 10:40 or something. And then those people miss it because they thought we were starting at 11. So I don't know if you want to talk to Helen or my suggestion is to always just do a half an hour.
We're going to start the walk at 11.
Okay.
And if
we'll do everything before that. You'll make it work. Okay.
We'll start the so we learned from last year. We'll start the opening ceremony at 10. And if we finish the opening ceremony, and I'll give the MC a heads up. And if the opening ceremony happens to end at 10:35, we'll just say, hey, grab some beverages and some snacks.
Yeah.
Do
your last walk around, meet our sponsors, and I'll be back.
Exactly. Okay, and we'll make an announcement at 11 to kick off the walk. If it goes the whole time, then we'll just send them right to the start finish line.
You guys got it down.
We had the opposite in San Diego last year. It was just so awkward. I just want to avoid where the DJ was like, and then okay, let's start, and then the course wasn't ready. So we're like, just kidding, and we had to run and block it off. So awkward.
Yeah, our course was ready, but ours was similar. Yeah. Oh, okay, get ready to run. Oh no, don't yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, we've learned. You guys got it down. Amazing.
Yeah. Well.
Great. Well, conversation doesn't end when the call's over. So if you have any questions, I mean, you guys are pretty dialed, but if you do, or you need anything from us, just let us know. You can always hit us up in that volunteers inbox. You can keep in mind the January 30th deadline for anything that you want to see reflected on the next round of documents in February. But past that, we still have some time to change anything. So, and I
don't think there's anything we're waiting for, right? I think just everything's all set, Jason. And so we'll just, I have already written that in my little PurpleStride group chat, Phil, about the inflatable start and finish. So I will get back to you with any information I get, and then we can kind of go from there. And I know you're traveling, so just no rush getting back to me.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, email. It's 2 months. I'll have plenty of time. Yeah. The only communication tool I won't have is phone, unless I sign up for the phone thing for the day. But I have access to the internet. They actually have Wi-Fi in France. I'm like, no, yeah. So I'll have access to email and text and and video chat, WhatsApp and Zoom and that kind of stuff. So
and if for any reason
I'm in communication, and don't worry about interrupting me. I mean, I'll get back to you when I can. The only thing, you don't text me at 4 or 5 o'clock in Pacific time.
Yes.
It'll be like 3 a.m. and you won't get an answer back for
Is it 9 hours or 8 hours? It's 9 hours. 9. Okay. I have to always keep it straight. I have my best friend's in England, and then my cousin is in Rome, and so just all the time trying to go back and forth.
The thing that's really screwy is that they have central England, they have central summertime, and like us, except that their we'll call it European daylight savings time. Theirs is on the same schedule that ours used to be on. So they start they start, their daylight savings time like 2 weeks before. So there's like a 2 week period at the beginning and another 2 week period at the end where there's only 8 hours difference.
Oh my
But,
gosh, that's a lot to keep track of. Well, and I just wanted to end by also saying, if you do go to the storage unit before your trip, of course, just let me know or let volunteers know, like, yep,
Yeah.
found our big sign, but otherwise it is not necessary.
I'll make it a point to go there before I go and let you know, so that way we don't have to worry about it.
Okay, if it's not too much trouble, otherwise put it on the back burner. Okay.
No problem.
Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for being available on your big trip. I know you've got a lot of babysitting to do and a lot of fun things ahead of you. Jason, thanks for being so organized. And Hannah, thank you for all your info as usual.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, thank you guys. You guys
Thank you
do a fantastic
guys.
job. So really appreciate it. It just makes life a lot easier for us. So thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you guys soon.
See you
Have a great
soon.
trip.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Adios.